Well, hello everyone, it's Jordan Pelly here. This video is on our Christian movements. So we have the bare minimum of 12 items going on the tier list. So we will begin with the pro-life movement. This one goes into the platinum tier, and because it is one of the best Christian movements of all time. And it's a very good movement as it places a focus on the sanctity of life, on the fact that humans are created in God's image, and that abortion is a heinous form of murder, thus making it a sin. And next we have the temperance movement. The temperance movement goes into the platinum tier, and because this one was a very good movement, and that placed an emphasis. So the temperance movement did a wonderful job placing an emphasis on abstinence from alcohol. Now this is a really good movement, so it lands a spot in the platinum tier. Next we have the purity movement. The purity movement goes into the S tier, because this was a very good movement. And the only problem with it is that it is self-righteous in a few areas, but other than that, it's mostly a good movement, as what it does a good job at is emphasizing the abstinence from fornication. Next we have Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism goes into the E tier, and because this one attempts to make politics become synonymous with Christianity. And we are really not supposed to do that. So, what it does is that it attempts to make Christianity into something political, even though it is not political. And that is a serious problem. And Christian nationalism is also self-righteous, too. And next is the Reformation. This goes in the platinum tier, because this was a very good movement that took place in history. It was one of the best, as this one was an indictment against the heresies of the Catholic Church. And next is the feminist theology movement. This one goes into the foul tier, because this was one of the worst so-called Christian movements of all time. Because this movement is somewhat led to so many heresies like egalitarianism and other liberal heresies. The feminist theology movement, quite frankly, created a who's who of heresies, and that has poisoned the church. So the feminist theology movement goes into the foul tier. And next we have the Jesus Revolution. But surprisingly, this one goes into the E tier. And the reason that is that this movement created a lot of false converts, as it attempted to mix the hippie culture, which was not good, with Christianity, which did not work out. As this movement had a lot of lukewarm aspects to it. And next is the NAR movement. And I actually used a picture of a clown to represent that, because of how crazy and heretical the NAR movement is. This is going in the F tier, because the NAR movement is heretical, as this movement preaches the prosperity gospel, and then there's the name it and claim it nonsense. Next is the seeker-sensitive movement. Well, this too goes in the F tier, because it's got the same mumbo-jumbo as the NAR movement. Next is the deconstructionism movement. Well, this goes into the foul tier, because this one leads to a blatant apostasy, a literal apostasy. So this is quite literally an apostasy movement. Yeah, one of the worst movements of all time. So, deconstructionism goes into the foul tier. And next is homeschooling, or Christian homeschooling. This goes in the S tier, because this is a very good movement that aims to give children a faith-based education, which is a much better alternative to the liberal secularist education that the public schools deliver. And last but not least, we have apologetics. This goes in the A tier, because it's a very good movement that aims to provide the answers to the most common questions about Christianity. So now that is it for this video. Have a nice time, and peace.